Thank you very much, Mark, for your nice presentation introduction. Uh, it's my first time in Berlin, and I'm very pleased to participate and feel honored to participate in such international level of the symposium for the cultural diplomacy in the Arab world. I would like also to thank the Speaker of the House, whom I represent here. We have diplomatic relations with Germany since 2010, but this recently it was the first visit of the Speaker of the House of Parliament of Djibouti to Germany. And after that, this is also the second visit of a parliamentary mission, which I represent. I also would like to thank for the International Diplomacy Center of Studies for inviting us. And I would say, to paraphrase a great president, Ich bin Berliner. In this beautiful city of Berlin, I would like to present, I have prepared a long speech, detailed, very much detailed about Djibouti history and Djibouti cultural diplomacy in the Horn of Africa, but also around the world. But I prefer to have an improvisation instead of annoying you with this reading a long speech. To say something about Djibouti history. You know, Djibouti, first of all, is a small country of 1 million population and also a 23,000 square kilometers. It was called in the Egypt times of pharaohs, it was called the country of Punt. That means the country of gods. When you know, as an anecdotic story, when some runaway people runs from criminals or convicts or any kind of these people run from Egypt to flee away, and they arrive in Punt, the current Djibouti. The soldiers of pharaohs stopped there because this person entered like a sanctuary. It was the country of God, so they stopped the pursuit, and it was a safe place. It was also the country, this region was also where they brought incense as they were making their ceremonials and funerals. The incense comes from the Punt. There is also all the tracks of economical and historical exchange between the Arab world and the African world. There is also strong relations between Oman, the Ottoman Empire, and the European powers to be. Great writers like Henri Manfred, Richard Burton, Arthur Rimbaud traveled there, and they were really amazed and enchanted to discover these lands, and they were very much inspired to write their poems and books. The land of spirituality. Djibouti also welcomed at the beginning of the Islam era the first believers of Islam. They found refuge when they were running away of persecution. They were welcomed in Djibouti in the current Abyssinia. It's always the same place. Cultural diplomacy, my theme is cultural diplomacy for sustainable development. Sustainable development, first of all, means peace, because without peace, you can't have a sustainable development. Djibouti is known to have an active role in the culture of peace. We promote peace, and after having survived, Djibouti gained independence in 1977. And just after the independence, the two big powers in the region, Somalia and Ethiopia, went in war. And we managed to survive by adopting a neutrality stance. And during this war, we also welcomed a lot of refugees from Somalia, but also from Ethiopia. And President Goulet, the first president of the newly independent nation, summed up our position and our, how to say, brand are the land of peace and exchange, ou en français, terre de paix, d'échange et de rencontres. And President Goulet, as the first active steps of promoting peace, invited all the leaders of the region to establish a common mechanism called IGAD, Intergovernment Agency for Development. So all the countries, even if they have some personal or say nation problems, they were gathering in this mechanism called IGAD to have kind of exchange program or cooperation between nations. In 2000, the new president, second president, newly elected in 1999, Mr. President Gelle, we organized the first conference of peace of Somalia. You know, Somalia was in war since 1991, and a lot of people tried, a lot of nations and international peace agency tried to help resolve the conflict, but this conflict was so deep that no one could succeed. But we, Djibouti, as neighbors, as we share common background, culturally, language, as also this common language, Djibouti, we have two dialects, the Afar dialects and Somali dialect. And we share the Somali dialect with our neighbor. We organized in 2000 a peace conference calling all the elders of tribes to share a common ground and to restart and to reborn into a new Somalia, which everyone has equal rights. Because we really understood that the really basic common ground must be culture. If people have the same understanding of their rights and their differences, they can resolve or found a common ground. Then that's why we invited, as the original idea, the elders of every tribe to share their differences and to try to have a peaceful arrangement. And since then, the United Nations helped the mechanism, and now that's why you have a kind of a strong government, transitional government in Somalia, which struggling to establish its control all over the territory, and is succeeding thanks to the international cooperation, but also strong support from Turkey. And I'd like to also thank the Foreign Minister, Mr. Yasir Yakis, for his country's involvement in Mogadishu and in supporting the Somalia government. Because we, Djibouti, we understand that if having peace in the region means we can have a development, we can have a better development goals. We can achieve prosperity. And we are succeeding, thanks God. Why am I say sustainable development, also environmentally? In last year, I participated in Addis Ababa in a workshop called Environmental Diplomacy. And today, I will say the climate change is the most, the most challenge, the most difficult challenge that humanity is facing. And we should use cultural diplomacy to tackle this challenge. And I know that, we all know that Germany has a strong culture of, we can see in this city, this is my first time I visited Berlin, but I was really amazed how harmonious is the development, the urban development with the green spaces and the respect for the environment. And also Germany have a strong also knowledge in renewable energy. So in African culture, promoting environment, we have a great respect for environment. But nowadays, despite our knowledge, our understanding of the importance of environment, the challenge of achieving high growth rates sometimes force us to forget or to downplay this issue. And we must regain this understanding of the importance of environmental issues for a sustainable issues, for sustainable development. Djibouti and Germany recently established partnership and also diplomatic ties. The first embassy of Djibouti in Germany was opened in 2010, and Germany opened its embassy in 2011. And in Djibouti, we have a really strong relationship with the Arab world, with the African countries, but we kind of strictly oriented with the French, the former colony, because in Djibouti, the former colonizer was France. We were quite oriented only regarding Europe relations, only with France. But now we are trying to open up ourselves to gain also cooperation with other countries. That's why we opened the embassies also in Turkey. And we are really hoping that German cooperation and it is kind of also of initiative, because culture and language are the first key to enter a new world. And thanks to this kind of bridges, human bridges, people can understand both languages. Who speaks both culture and speaks both languages can help achieve to achieve better goals of development. So I think I said all, even I summed up. So I'm ready for your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much for your keynote address. I think we've been inspired and provoked in many ways. Who would like to go first? Questions or comments? Yes. Okay.
Hello. Thank you very much for your very good presentation, Mr. Atteyeh. My name is Daniel Erhardt, come from Croatia, and I would like to know, given the very important strategic position that Djibouti has in its own geopolitical region, what role do you think that Djibouti can have in the future of the region as a development leader, especially having such important neighbors like Somalia and Ethiopia, as you already mentioned? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. It's really very relevant, because it reminds me that Djibouti acts as a gate for this region. We established, I don't know if you have ever heard about Comesa. It's a market of 400 million going from Djibouti to Uganda. So Djibouti is like the gate for all these countries. Ethiopia is landlocked. Somalia is still having peace or trying to establish stability. And all this, Uganda is landlocked. And we can act as a gate to enter all these markets and play an active role in having a foothold in these emerging markets.
Additional questions or comments? Okay, all right. Well, then we'll conclude there. But thank you again very, very much for the keynote address. And we're very honored by your presence and also your contributions. So please express our gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.